screw from the driver's side only of the third bow. Remove the center listing locking screw from the third bow. Remove the bow pad locking screw from the driver's side of the second bow. And remove the center listing locking screw from the second bow. Slide the bow pad extrusions from the second, third, and fourth bow. Slide the listing extrusions from the second, third, and fourth bows. Replace the bow pad extrusions into the bow by simply hammering them down into the groove. Below is a cross section of the bow pad extrusion. You'll see the arrowhead. Both barbs of the arrowhead should seat into the channel in the bow. Replace the rivets that secure the bow extrusion in the fourth bow. Replace the positioning screw at the end of the bow extrusion on the fourth bow. The window unit will have a mark running along the bottom of the sail panel area and under the window, the glass window itself. This will show you where to position the top of the trim stick. Different manufacturers will use different markings, but most common is a crayon line that you will align with the top of the trim stick. Some manufacturers will punch holes, but the point is the marks that they make will be aligned with the top of the trim stick. Check your window unit to be certain that everything is present. Check for the Velcro above the glass that attaches to the headliner. Check the plastic extrusion at the very top of the unit. And if you bought a defroster window, check to make sure that the defroster lines and spade connectors are present. Being certain that the trim stick is right side up, center the window, align the crayon line, staple it in the center, then staple the ends and work your way back toward the center. Take care not to staple through the holes and into your finger. Cut the material away from the bolt holes. Take care that you do not slip with the knife and cut above the trim stick. Put the window unit into the well. Put the top in the halfway position. Position the window extrusion above the channel in the fourth bow. Center it and install it with a rubber mallet or a dead blow hammer. Below you'll see a cross section of the window extrusion showing the arrow that gets forced down into the bow. Both barbs should seat into the channel in the bow. It's not unusual for the one barb that shows here to your extreme right not to seat completely into the channel. It's not a problem if it doesn't. Just take a common screwdriver and a hammer and tap it gently until it pops down into the slot. Check to make certain that the window unit is centered in the bow. If it isn't, reposition it. Install the positioning screws on both sides of the window unit extrusion. It isn't uncommon for the window extrusion to seat on one edge of the arrowhead only. If that should happen, seat the other half with a screwdriver and a hammer. Just tap lightly and it'll drop down into the groove. Cut the old duct tape from the padding strip. That's the piece of Velcro with the adhesive on the back. Reattach the Velcro to the bow and then cover it with new duct tape. Do this on both sides of that bow. This is a great time to vacuum the well area to get out any staples and old push nuts and debris that might have fallen down there while you were working. Bolt the trim stick onto the car to test fit the rear window. The manufacturer's marks are a guide only, so if your window sags, remove the staples from the trim stick and move the window unit lower on the trim stick. If it is too tight, remove the staples and move the window unit higher on the trim stick. This is what your window unit should look like if it's correctly installed. When you are satisfied with the fit of your window, unbolt the trim stick and bring it onto the furniture pads. Lay the top over the window. Align the front binding edge of the sail panel with your mark at the front of the trim stick. In addition to your mark, you should also see the impression where the binding was stapled. Staple the top to the front of the trim stick, matching the upper marks on the top to the top of the trim stick. Different manufacturers will use different methods of marking the top. This top uses punched holes to mark the top and bottom of the trim stick. Do this to the other side. Move to the other end of the sail panel and fasten the binding edge there at your mark on the trim stick. Finish stapling the bottom of the sail panel and do this to the other side. Cut the material away from over the bolt holes. Take care not to cut above the trim stick and do this to the other side. Put the trim stick in the well and unfold the top. Put the top in the halfway position and fold the top material back to expose the fourth bow. Set the listing extrusion into the fourth bow using a rubber mallet or a dead blow hammer and a piece of heavy cardboard for padding. Below is a cross-section of the listing of the extrusion. Both barbs should seat into the channel in the bow. Put the top in the up position and set the listing extrusion into the third bow using a rubber mallet or dead blow hammer and a piece of cardboard for padding. Install the locking screw in the center of the third bow. Set the listing extrusion into the second bow using the rubber mallet or dead blow hammer and a piece of cardboard for padding. Install the locking screw in the center of the second bow. Attach the spring to the top at the front of the sail panel. Do this on both sides. Install all of the nuts on the tack strip and tighten them. Put the top in the halfway position and install the side tension cable into the sleeve in the top. A tool for this job is easily made from a wire coat hanger. Simply straighten the coat hanger and bend a small hook at the end. Install the mesh protector onto the spring at the end of the side tension cable and fasten the spring to the frame.